1, 2, 3, 4, 1. My body is spent. I need a soul for rent. There's a desert in my mind. The storm's blowing in.
How are you, Bridie?
Are you all right?
I'm grand.
You don't look grand.
A colleague died today. Adaku.
COVID?
Yeah, she's diabetic. Well, she was diabetic.
What age was she?
44.
I'm sorry to hear that. Did she contract it at work?
Who knows? She was careful what with her condition, but she lives in a shitty tenement building. Her kids have been out and about, and she was at them protests there a couple of weeks ago.
Well, she obviously felt it was important to protest.
Yeah, well, tell that to her kids.
People are angry. They need to protest, Seamus. You, of all people, should know that.
No, I get that. Look, it's not just the protests. Social distancing went out the window for the last couple of weeks. People just packed into the parks when the sun came out. Bollocks Johnson eases restrictions and everybody thinks it's all over. There's 40,000 people dead, and half of them needn't have been. People are out toppling statues now when they should be toppling the government. There's a perfect storm forming and nobody can see it.
Well, I climbed Patrick yesterday.
How was it?
Beautiful. I just needed to get away from the news. Felt myself becoming traumatized by it all, you know.
No, I know.
Had the mountain to myself, more or less. Sat on the summit for hours, looking out over Clew Bay.
Did you see a perfect storm forming?
No. Just the ocean, as it's always been. The islands in the bay, the Mayo Mountains. Saw the hump of Clare Island all green in the sun. You know, it's the first time since all of this started that I've actually managed to detach. I could just feel the stress leaving my body and flowing down the slope. I wish I could stay there. Just sit on a mountain till all this has passed.
For a time I sit in the grace of the world and I'm free.
You've obviously been tested.
Yeah, it was negative. So I'm just self-isolating now for a couple of days just to be sure. And I get tested tomorrow. If I get the all clear, go back to work.
No symptoms, no loss of smell or anything?
Sure, I've had lots of smell since the partying days.
You've lost lots of things since the partying days.
Yeah, I stopped dreaming.
You stopped dreaming.
Yeah, when we were together, Bridie, I used to have this recurring nightmare. The details of it were always varied, but there was always the same outcome. I'd lost you, and I'd wake up in a panic, sweat pouring out of me. And then I'd look over and see it there beside me, sleeping.
You're telling me your dream came true?
Look, when I was hitting the coke those days, all dreams stopped, or at least I couldn't remember them. But those dreams served to keep me on edge. It made me realise what I had to lose.
Well, my dreams ended too, Seamus. Except I didn't have a choice in the matter. You chose to shove cocaine up your nose. You chose that over me, over us.
Yeah, but it wasn't me. That's what I'm saying. The coke, it changed me. I thought I was invincible. I was just weak.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing made me strong.
I know it did, and I admire you for that.
I'm not looking for your fucking approval, Seamus. Why are we even talking about this?
Because we've never talked.
You never talked. You stayed in London, Seamus. I came home and you stayed in London.
I was fucked up. Okay? By the time I sobered up, Bridie, I couldn't handle the shame. I couldn't handle the thought of coming home and not being with you.
You were a coward.
You're right. I was a coward, and you know what? My dream did come true. I wake up every single morning after the same nightmare, and I turn around and I find, look, I know there's no going back. I just wanted you to know that I was sorry for everything.
You haven't asked me about Martin. He's going in for his biopsy tomorrow. He'll be in for a couple of days.
They're going to general anaesthetic.
Consultant says it's best. He says Martin is as strong as a man of 50. He's confident. I have to go. I'm sorry to hear about your friend.
Thanks.
Bye, Seamus.
Oh, how are you, Dad?
Is that makeup you're putting on you?
Moisturiser.
Moisturiser.
I know, not very manly.
Oh, I'm saying nothing.
So any news, Dad?
I have. I got Netflix.
Netflix.
Bridie set me up there the other evening. Sure, it'll while away a bit of the night for me.
Aren't you getting fierce tech savvy in your old age?
I'd be watching Tiger King.
Oh, you didn't waste any time. What did you think of it?
A man would say queer things when he wouldn't have his gun.
Proper bunch of header balls, all right. What else have you been watching?
I watched that Rolling Thunder review last night. Faces about me back. I was hanging out with Bob Dylan that time, you know. Did I ever tell you that?
Maybe once or twice.
I was training in Gleason's gym on the banks of the Hudson. There's a sign over the door in Gleason's gym, you know. It's a quote from Virgil. Now, whoever has courage and a strong and collective spirit in his breast, let him come forward, place on the gloves, and put up his hands. Isn't that a mighty thing to read when you enter a gym? It used to fire me up every time.
I remember Brooklyn. I remember being in the Johnson house with the smell of saltfish and bammy bread.
Ah, sure, great people. Sure, they're practically raised, yeah. With your mother working in Manhattan, me on the docks. You remember little Malika Johnson? She was your first love. You remember her?
Barely now. What age was I then? About 5 or something?
You were. The summer of 1975. On Saturday nights, myself and your mother used to leave you into the Johnson. Head over the Brooklyn Bridge, into Greenwich Village, onto Bleecker Street. The other end was all hard that time. Mighty spot for the music. Nancy Brothers and Tommy Macon used to often be there. This was ran that time by All Golby. He used to get me to sing a bit of Shanos every time. Amy would drink like.
Cheap night out for you?
That was. We were there this night. I can't remember now. Was it July or August? But I can remember the heat. Like, the fry eggs on the sidewalk. Dylan was in the area recording an album.
Desire, wasn't it?
That's right. He arrived in this night. Himself and Emmylou Harris. The girl that used to play the fiddle they called Scar. Yes, She was something else on that bit. They got up this night and they performed Hurricane. I think it was the first time they performed it in public, like.
Hurricane, what a great track. Here comes the story of the hurricane.
Good man.
The man the authorities tried to blame.
Carry on.
Something he never done. Put him in a prison cell, and one time he could have been champion of the world. But made a great job of the film as well. Denzel Washington played Reuben Carter.
Reuben Carter was in the news last summer. He was after losing his appeal. I never forget how the atmosphere changed when Dylan was singing that song. How hot and sticky the room was. Sweat dripping up the ceiling like warm rain through the smoke. And all of us being brought somewhere where we didn't want to go.
Didn't you tell me before that there was no applause afterwards?
Silence. Silence. We'd all listen to this amazing song. This amazing story put to music. And there wasn't a sound when it finished. The three of them left the stage and went back to their seats. I never experienced anything like it. Then the Paul Golby gets up on stage. He thanks Bob and Emilio and Scarlett. And then announces that Martin Tim Flaherty from Connemara was going to treat everybody to a bit of shannon.
Bob Dylan was your support act.
Oh, upon me oath. No, I didn't want to get up like it. Not like it. So what could I do? I was after drinking around 4 pints at this stage. So I drank half my wages, so to speak. I make my way up to the stage and I launch into it. There's this lad standing at the bar, a black lad. 6 foot, built like a Charlie bull, gold chains dripping up him. Every time I'd open my eyes, there he'd be staring at me. Oh, I was sparring with some of the top fighters in New York that time and holding my own life. Just this fella put the wind up me. I couldn't wait to finish the song. I was getting off the stage anyway. There he was in front of me, staring at me. He put his 2 arms around me. He held me out at arm's length and he said, Martin, he says, you got soul, man. I was never as happy to get a hug in all my life.
And did Dylan hang around after that?
The 3 of them were sitting with their mother when I got down. Emilio and herself were great buddies. I sat across from Dylan. Oh, he wasn't a great man to talk much. Not to me, anyway. Except to ask me how Liam Clancy was. He loved Liam Clancy.
And were you friends with Liam Clancy?
Actually, not really. I knew him to say hello to me. Dylan seemed to think that we were great buddies, so I let him away with it. I complimented him on Hurricane. Said I thought it was the mightiest track I've ever heard. And it was now. I wasn't promising him no or nothing. That song will change things, I said to him.
What did he say to that?
He said, that song won't change nothing. He went off in his own head then for a minute or so. He was often going off in his own head, sure. Eventually he looked at me and said, Martin, all we can do is toss seeds into the bitter wind and hope that somewhere down the road they'll land in the right kind of soil, in the right kind of weather. I watched Dylan sing Hurricane last night on Netflix. And that night in the village came back to me. And I realised what that emotion was in the room. I was just too young at the time to recognise it.
What was it?
Shame. Collective shame. People think grief is the most painful emotion. It's not. It's shame. Grief softens with time. Shame intensifies and festers.
How do we get through it? How do we deal with shame?
All we can do is try to make amends. Hope it's not too late. That night in the other end, Dylan ripped the scab wide open of a festering wound and made everybody ashamed of their failings. That song wasn't about open Chapter. It was about our failings as a society. I thought that Paul Golby was cracked to put me up after Dylan. But he knew what he was doing. He knew that the Shannos would evoke sadness, but never shame. Just a way of easing the audience back out of the hole that Dylan was up to throw everybody into.
And do you remember what Seamus you sang that night?
I remember it well.
Sure. Give us a taste of it then.
Namsches lontje is vader bij strochte an meje bouw as hanach kun smarua mara gachairis mohe Shaban is poste Deutschelisu Arinum wurde Ich hab nervös poros Ich hab mich gefirnjo Na bochtis nen ho Gepares nipa Doktor Sirla Gakleturgi Dar hit bin war